I was 18 years old when I adopted my dog Bennett. For weeks, I scoured every local shelter I could find, searching high and low for the perfect dog. Finally, I stumbled upon the Maricopa County Animal Care and Control Center, a government-run shelter filled to the brim with cats and dogs. In one of the first cages I looked at was a defeated and anxious cinnamon-colored dog. He was small and timid, and another dog was even chewing on his leg. The minute we locked eyes, I knew that this was my dog. Bennett was only one of 36,047 animals to end up in the county shelter in 2015. And unfortunately, not all of them were as lucky as Bennett. Maricopa's shelter isn't the only one taking in more animals than they can rehome. Shelters all over the country take more animals in than they can handle. You may wonder, why are there so many dogs and cats who can't find homes? Many people don't spay and neuter their animals, so they end up with puppies and kittens that they don't want. Other people only want purebred dogs, so they resort to going to breeders and buying them, leaving the animals in the shelters, waiting for families who never come. Where do these dogs go? Maricopa County alone euthanized 8,324 animals in 2015. How can we prevent this? Let me suggest a few ways. First off, owning an animal is a huge responsibility. Animals are costly to properly care for. You have to pay for their vet bills, their food, having them spayed or neutered, and taking care of them if you happen to go out of town. Many dogs who end up in shelters are dropped off because their owners could no longer care for them for one of these reasons, especially because medical bills get to be expensive. If a dog is dropped off at a shelter because it is sick, it's almost an immediate death wish. Shelters, unfortunately, don't have the funds to take care of these dogs. Plan ahead if you're thinking of getting an animal. They are usually at least a 12-year commitment. Think of your next 12 years and make sure that this animal fits into your life. If you're not breeding your animal intentionally, it is responsible to spay or neuter them. Sometimes animals get out of the house. Cats aren't always inside pets. Leaving these animals roaming the neighborhood free will lead to overbreeding and will result in animals ending up in the shelter. Additionally, having a male dog neutered can make the male dog less aggressive and territorial, making it more loving and cuddly for you. So now you've decided you would like a pet. Where can you find it? Let me suggest that you adopt rather than shopping. Animals in shelters have seen the worst and are so grateful to have someone loving. I can tell you from experience. I have both purchased dogs and adopted dogs, and all of my adopted animals are more loving than my purchased dogs, although I love them all. Many rescues will even provide the first round of shots and will have the dog spayed or neutered, and oftentimes will even microchip it for you, included in the adoption fee. Generally, these adoption fees, even including all of the above things, will be less than what a breeder would charge you. Do your research on what kind of animal you'd like. All dog and cat breeds have different behaviors and needs. Don't end up with a dog that is way more active than you were bargaining for. Some people think dogs in rescues that are older cannot be trained. Once you show a shelter animal love, it will respect you as its master. These animals can be trained. Take it to obedience classes with a professional trainer. You can teach an old dog new tricks. Or maybe you've decided that an animal doesn't fit into your life at the moment, but you still would like to help. There are so many opportunities to volunteer at shelters. Every single shelter in the whole country, I guarantee, can use more help. Shelters are overrun with animals, but not overrun with people. If you don't have the time to volunteer, even just once a week or so, you can donate supplies. Donating food, medical supplies, and bedding is insanely appreciated by the shelters. There are far too many animals across the country who spend so much of their life trapped in a cage with nobody to love them, only to be euthanized alone at the end. Luckily, there's so much everyone can do. We always say dogs are a man's best friend, but they don't always get treated that way. People are often irresponsible with their pets, leading to overbreeding and ultimately unnecessary death. The solution is simple. Take care of your pets, adopt, don't shop, and help out where you can. Owning a dog or a cat is a huge responsibility, but it is completely worth it. If you don't have the time or the means to own an animal, stop by your local shelter whenever you can to lend a hand. They always appreciate it, and you can tell because the dogs will let you know. I spent a long time working with a group who networks dogs that are on the euthanasia list. Though it was hard seeing a lot of the dogs get euthanized, it was one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. It felt so good to know that I helped so many animals find good homes rather than being put down. Adopting my own dogs have been the most rewarding thing I've ever done for myself, and they're the best dogs I can imagine. Once you adopt, I am certain you will never purchase another animal in your life. So please, if you're thinking of getting a pet, adopt, don't shop, take decent and responsible care of your animal, and if you can't, volunteer. It is so important to love these animals the way they love us.